All right, let's go over decimals and the number line. So this first one right here um, says which letter best represents the location of 71 hundredths or 0.70. Now, as we should know, 0.70 is equal to zero point 0.7, right? I apologize for my handwriting. Um, but so let's figure this out. So this is 7 tenths or 71 hundredths. So we can think of this as either a decimal or a fraction, um, whichever you feel more comfortable with. But let's think about where this would be um, in line with the number line. So one thing that we should know is that 1/2 is equal to zero point 0.5, right? Or 5 tenths. Now, I know that the actual fraction 1/2 equals 5 tenths, okay? So, uh, and obviously 5 tenths the fraction equals 5 tenths the decimal. So since I know that this is 1/2 is equal to 5 tenths, then for the question 2, which letter best represents the location of 51 hundredths? Well, 51 hundredths is the same as 5 tenths. So the answer for number 2 would be B. Now we have to think what would be 0.7 or 7 tenths or 71 hundredths. Now, basically, I know that if I were to split this up into quarters, I can think about it like money. And so this would be half. This would be a quarter, which would be 25 hundredths, right? So 0.25. And then halfway between the half and the 1, somewhere around here, would be 75 hundredths, right? Think about it like quarters. So 1 quarter, 25 hundredths, 2 quarters, uh, 0.5 or 50 hundredths, 3 quarters, 75 hundredths, right? So you can think about it like money and cents. That is a good way to think about it. So which one would be 71 hundredths? I would say the answer would be C. It would make the most sense that it would be here. D is way too close to 1. Okay, so the answer for 1 would be C, and the answer for 2 would be B. All right, so let's look at number 2 now. This one right here says, which letter best represents the location of 4 tenths? Okay, and which letter best represents the location of 76 hundredths? So we can think about this as the same thing. So we know that 1/2 is 0.5, or, which is 5 tenths, or we can think about it as 51 hundredths. Okay? So, uh, 4 tenths. Now this one, as we said, halfway between 0 and 1/2, A looks to be right around halfway between those, right? Halfway between 1/2 and 0, which would be 1 quarter or 25 hundredths. So A looks to be right around there, and then B is close to 50 hundredths, or 0.5 or 5/10, but it's a little before. So really, B is the only one that would make any amount of sense. So which letter best represents the location of 40/100ths or 4/10? It would be B. Now, which letter best represents the location of 76/100ths? And as we mentioned, this one's pretty simple because 76/100ths, there's only one dot that's actually between 1/2 and 1. And 76/100ths is obviously between 1/2 and 1. And C, right here, is about halfway between them. And we said that halfway between them would be 75/100ths. So this is the only one that would make sense, and it looks to be right in the right spot, about halfway between 1/2 and 1. All right. So I think that's good for this video, but we can go through more of these later.